My name is Michelle McMahon. My mob, my family are the Yoda Yoda community from the Barmah, Nathalia, all along the Murray River, that region there. This year, 2021, I started work at Victorian Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Organisation, VACCHO. So I'm really excited to be working at VACCHO. I have been working in university for a little while, so it's wonderful to be back working in a community org. The position that I got at VACCHO is coordinator of the Victorian Aboriginal Research Accord project. It's work between the Victorian Government, VACCHO and all of VACCHO members and other community organisations as well, wanting to set ethical standards for research with Aboriginal communities in Victoria. Because at the moment it's kind of done differently, different hospitals, different medical research institutes, different universities, all this business is done differently. So to set standards of what does ethical research in Aboriginal communities look like, but privileging the voice of Aboriginal communities in this discussion. And when they sign up, that means that they're going to, be bound and, conform to this research accord. It's a very, very big project, and that's why I'm like, when I saw the opportunity to even go for the job, I was like, yes, step up a little bit. It's scary. It's scary business. There's a lot of stakeholders. There's a lot of voices. There's a lot of history too with research of Aboriginal communities, because it's been done so unethically, poorly, caused a lot of trauma. I previously worked in family services. I realised that it was almost like what you call it, like a storm coming at us when we worked in family services in the child protection area. Western or mainstream ways of knowing when it comes to child rearing. So there had to be, I was thinking, a way of speaking back to that storm, because in all these moments, whether we're at the front of court buildings or whether we're in hospitals or in the DHS building or in family homes even, Western ways of raising children always took precedence. So basically, the main thing I wanted from my research and from the film I made through the fellowship is to get non-Aboriginal people to just pause, to just stop for a second and think, what I'm seeing in front of myself is a little bit different than how I would raise kids, but maybe I just don't know everything. Having this 60-minute film, I was able to take it out into, lots and lots of different organisations. It really got it out into the community. For myself, as a leader, probably listening and being quiet is really, really important. Someone said, well, why don't you make a mobile app? And I started thinking, oh my gosh, I am so scared. I know nothing, I'm not technical. But then I started to think about the experiences that I have had personally, but also through as an Aboriginal family services worker and Aboriginal Indigenous student services worker. Sometimes we'll present an emergency and assumptions are made, like have you been drinking, do you even have family here? And sometimes these assumptions at medical staff, I know that there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of shortage of staff, all that business, but it really creates negative outcomes for our mob. So there are many, many times when our mob, our community are in hospitals or in appointments, specialist appointments, waiting to get results, where there's a lot of fear and anxiety. Our brains don't work in those moments. We're so feeling scared and stressed. Straight up, if you click on Amigo, and Amigo is Yoda Yoda language that means hope, it's going to ask you, those simple questions. It also asks you what diagnoses that you might have. And you've put it in there when you're home and your brain's working and you've spelt it properly. It'll ask you what type of medications you're on, how often you take them. It also, Amigo will let you set appointments. And then also notification for if they need to take any type of medication. Through the fellowship, I made films, I started a mobile app, I presented at maybe 17 different organisations from the findings from my research, a lot of scary stuff. So I learnt that number one, I can do it. Number two, if you can't do it that good, just ask for help. And I'm very thankful to the fellowship for enabling me to do this work.